There was a follow-up to that voicemail that I won't play. I'll summarize for you, where Aaron called back and said, I just left a voicemail. I should clarify, my boyfriend's a dentist.
I definitely was like, hang on. And then I'm like, I'm assuming this kind of, I still feel like there's got to be a conflict of interest here or something.
You're tuned into the GOCast podcast, your one-stop shop for updates, news, tips, and community in the world of Pokemon Go. Thank you for listening.
We're on the tollway to go tour Sinnoh, only a few weeks away.
Rev up those engines with this week's Pokélore Pokémon.
What do a monkey, turtle, and penguin have in common?
Well, if you Sinnoh, you Sinnoh. And more on this episode of GOCast. Hello and welcome to the GOCast podcast, episode 267. What an absurd number. It's January 24th, a Wednesday evening, because we had to push it back a day. Well, we didn't have to, but Kyle was nice enough so I could go do a thing. But I'm your host, Chris, and as always, I'm joined by the aforementioned co-host, Kyle.
Hiya.
Hey, Kyle, how are you doing this week?
I'm alive.
You're alive? You've been having a week, man?
I've had a week.
Oh, jeez.
I can't wait to get to goals.
Okay. I hope it's not nothing. I hope we have something to celebrate. That'd be cool. But if not, sometimes that's how it goes. But yeah, this past week, what did we have? We had Porygon Community Day Classic. We've also had that Go Battle Day, or Go Battle Week event too, when Annihilate came out. That's in retrospect. So that's important to keep in mind. We have the Team Rocket thing ahead of us, right?
Yeah, that is Friday.
That's right. So that'll be this weekend. That's cool. I kind of forgot where we were because we're starting to get news articles and stuff about things that are much further in the future than we're used to for the clip we had, like at the back half of last year.
Yep.
So it's so strange to remember where we're at. But before we get to goals really quick, there's one thing I wanted to note, and there was no update or anything about it. Did you notice the UI changes in Go in the menus, like the Today view and stuff like that? If you haven't,
I noticed the stack is small now.
Yeah, the stack is smaller.
I've noticed so far.
And if you click on or tap on some of those things, it pulls up a nice condensed view of some events that are happening now, what's coming up and stuff like that. They did a good job. It looks really condensed. I have a couple of complaints. Some of those text boxes in my regular research tab, my special research tab rather, are still large for no reason. Like the seasonal one is there's room for 4 times as much text in white space as there is text currently in there. It's mega bizarre, and we still can't collapse that Go Battle League research.
I see. Okay, I see what you're talking about the opening. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's refreshing at the very least.
This is okay.
Yeah.
The events view it's kind of still a mess, but that's okay.
But it's less of a mess.
It is. It's much less of a mess.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll take it, Kyle. Yep. I will take it. Okay. Anyway, let's get to our goals then, after we just kind of figured out where we were in the Pokemon Go timeline. So we did have Porygon Community Day Classic, so our shiny goals are included here, except Kyle's because he wasn't going to participate.
It's a good thing because I would not have anyways.
Okay, good deal. Then let's take a look at what you did set for goals. Your first one was catch up on the timeless travel research. Are you caught up on that one?
No, I'm not.
Okay, what are you doing right now with that? I don't even remember what's in that.
I am on step 6, which is I think 5th. It's the 15. Hang on, I have to get that out of the way. Yeah, I'm on step 6, which is the 10 field research, buddy hearts, and power up, which I got there yesterday, the day before, and I'm at 7 out of 10 research. But
that's fair enough.
Let's be real as we continue. I did not open Pokemon Go from Thursday night till Monday morning. It's the longest I've never opened Go before because of stuff going on. So
Okay.
that,
All right.
that explains some things there.
We will adjust our expectations accordingly. So okay, there. What about buddy progress? Did you bring out a buddy?
No. I mean, I did, but not enough that I would consider it progress. No.
Did you send some gifts?
I did. Not as much as I wanted to, but enough that I will consider it progress. Because
Okay.
I did it every time I opened the app.
100% occurrence rate for when it did happen. Good for you. Okay, good. So 1 out of 3, but no fault of your own. Sounds like you had your hands full elsewhere. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. For myself, I wanted to catch 20 shiny Porygon. Quick story. It was Porygon Community Day Classic, and I felt called to not participate. And then an hour into the event, I was like, you know what? I did set a shiny goal. I should go out and at least try. And it took me an hour to get 24 shinies. It was the most ridiculous shiny rate I've ever had. And I was very thankful for it.
Think about, I always get pulled back when we talk about shinies for community days now, because it's not as important of a factor for me, depending on the mon. I think back to Squirtle Community Day, because that was the first one we did where we were like, all right, I want to get shinies. And we're like 6. And we just did 6. And it's not like we weren't catching that much. Like, we played. Yeah. And it's such a wild thing. It's like, yeah, I got 20 this week. Like, what?
24 in an hour.
Yeah.
Kyle. Disgusting.
I opened the app at like 5 o'clock or like 4:50, and there was like 10 Porygon at home. And I'm like, all right, that was the day.
Oh, whoops. Yeah.
I was like, all right, I was going to do that anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it was a bizarre one, but it was catch experience. So for some people, it was exciting because, you know, you're not going to look at a gift horse in the mouth, right? Like, if you need experience, even if you don't care about Porygon, you're still going to go out and try to do those catches. So there was that. 250,000 Stardust. I certainly did. Not one shiny. That's the next one. 50 eggs. I hatched 49.
Oh no.
So close, but no cigar, unfortunately. 1 shiny besides. I got a few. Actually, I caught one right before the show that I'm really happy about because it's technically an event shiny. But let me tell you about the ones prior to that. I had a shiny Cottony from the wild, level 1. We love that. I hatched a shiny Magby.
Oh, whatever.
Well, I'm happy about that. And then today in the wild, I caught a shiny Sock.
That's great.
That's
really
fantastic.
Good. I still don't have one of those. I didn't get one when we went to
GoFest.
When we went to Indianapolis and GoFest.
Indianapolis. Yeah. So I'll keep my eyes peeled. If I can pull another one, Kyle, I'll name him Kyle so I don't forget.
There's only 4 hours left in the event, Chris.
Plus go. Yeah. So 1 shiny besides. Yep. And then gifting. I have been on a tear with gifting. Only when people remind me that they exist, except for a few people that I have gone on my way to tag. So if I am not sending you gifts and you'd like to send me gifts, the way to do that is to remind me that I need to send you gifts, because otherwise I will forget.
I wish that I could easily sort my list by not best buddy. Just without having to use the search bar, just one of the regular organizations.
Yeah. I mean, you could do by friendship level and then flip it so it's lowest to highest.
Yeah, but then I don't get to go. Like, I'll never make it to Saramanda when I'm opening gifts, because Saramanda is, you know, halfway to best friend from Ultra. I'll wind up all at the low level friend. It's just, I have it sorted by alphabetical, and then I have it sorted by gifts waiting to open. But I have so many gifts waiting to open from best friends. And I'm like, no, not happening. Sorry. There's a handful of best friends that I will open, but very, very rarely.
I only do it if they're not lucky. And then once you're lucky, you just sit dormant.
I don't have any lucky friends.
What?
I have 3 lucky friends, but I will never see them.
Who are they? Are they literally just people from other countries that you like never see?
I actually don't know who 2 of them are anymore, but I think one of them I added. Well, hang on, let's see where their gift is from. That might give me a hint.
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy is from Sweden. I don't remember who he is at all.
Gosh. gosh.
And then someone else is a friend of mine from another game that I knew, and I'll never see them because
Summoner's War.
Yeah, from Summoner's War.
Could have put money.
Both played. So
could have put money. Yeah, I have several GOCast people that are best friends. Zoe is a best friend again, so maybe we could pull another hundo. That'd be sick. And then a selection of people I will also never see. So whatever. Hey man, I'm gonna keep on keeping on. It seems to be people appreciate our gifts, Kyle.
Yeah. See. Here's the thing, though. This is a funny comment about gifting I wanted to share because I've thought about it now as I've opened more. I used to see someone save my postcard, go back maybe 18 months, and I'm like, oh, they saved my postcard. That's nice. And now I'm like, they just need a scatterbug, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's no longer special anymore. It might be special for them to save it, but like I sent them a Starbucks postcard. I know they're not saving that.
Oh my gosh, a Starbucks from the Chicagoland area. Let me save that bad
One
boy.
of 1900 in the Chicagoland area.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I never had any such illusions other than people were pinning them so they could get scatterbugs. Because I certainly didn't gift before that very much. So
no, but there was times I sent out like gifts from GoFest and stuff and special stops before scatterbugs existed. So
yeah, I mean there are people that collect gifts from the regionals and stuff like that, postcards from events. And so that's cool. Sometimes they do like a little shout out in the server. I think Trip's done that before, Triptando. And we've sent him stuff from things. So yeah, cool stuff. Anyway, wow, this is the longest we've dallied before getting into the news. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Yo, what up? It's the news. All right. We got one piece of news, and it is interesting to talk about for sure. It is the road to Sinnoh. Trainers, it's time for a Sinnoh celebration before Pokemon Go Tour Sinnoh Global kicks off for trainers around the world. Jump into some Sinnoh-inspired fun during the Road to Sinnoh event. What I love about this opening phrase is that you could simplify it down to trainers, it's time for a Sinnoh celebration before the other Sinnoh celebration. Weird stuff. I mean, like we've had the road to Johto and Hoenn and stuff. We had similar ramp up events, not quite like this one, and we'll get to those differences soon enough. But we have had ramp up events. Just weird phrasing, I suppose. When is this going to be? It'll be Monday, February 19th at 10 a.m. to Friday, February 23rd at 10 p.m. local time. That is that week in between the LA tour and the global tour. First and foremost, and we do mean first and foremost, paid tickets. Coming out strong. Enhance your journey to Sinnoh with new event tickets. Enjoy additional bonuses, event-themed timed research, and new avatar items. Perfect for trainers who want to make the most of this Sinnoh celebration. Trainers taking part in Pokemon Go Tour Sinnoh Global on February 24th and 25th can take advantage of these ticket bonuses throughout the event weekend. Plus, don't forget that you can gift these to other people. These tickets will be available for purchase from Monday, February 19th to 10 a.m. At 10 a.m. to Sunday, February 25th at 6 p.m. local time. If you've waited too long to purchase this, don't. If you get it ahead of time and you can, then that's fine. You can judge if this is going to be worth it for you or not. Let's get into some of the details. There are two tickets. The first one is called Road to Sinnoh Raids. It's essentially a raid lever for the week. For $5 US or the equivalent price in tier in your local currency, you'll gain access to event-exclusive timed research and other raid-themed bonuses. Those rewards from the special research will include 10 Dialga and 10 Palkia candy, 5 Heatran, 5 Giratina, 5 Cresselia, and 5 Darkrai candy XL, which is actually pretty slick. An Eevee fan mask. Plus, enjoy the following bonuses: additional 5,000 XP from completing raids, 1 additional candy award for catching Pokemon in raids, and 2 additional raid passes from spinning photo discs at gyms every day. So it's like a muted version of Raid Lover that's spread throughout the week. So you can sort of like get the most out of it by just doing like a couple of raids each day is I think the idea here. Do you have any thoughts on this before we move on to the second ticket, or would we rather sort of cover both tickets and then talk about it?
I want to talk about the whole event before I talk about tickets.
Okay, cool. All right. So then the next ticket is Road to Sinnoh Hatch. It's the egg enthusiast one or whatever it is. Egg enthusiast, right?
Yeah.
$5, same deal. And the research, the rewards you will get, it's actually just one. It's a Pikachu fan mask, and then you'll get the bonuses: 2 times Hatch XP, 2 times Hatch candy, and 2 times Hatch Stardust. Please note again the lack of incubators included with this, so you are paying to pay more in order to get more out of it. Which, you know, for people like me, I budget for incubators, so that's fine. But if this isn't your normal play style and or you're not spending money on the game, still a weird one. I feel like it suffers from the same problems that Enthusiast does in other scenarios.
Yeah, but like Enthusiast, I feel like Enthusiast gives you value more. There's so little value here.
Isn't that strange how there's something different about like, oh, I'm going to be at this event for like 10 hours playing. I don't mind getting this thing and then buying 30 incubators and working through them. And then you look at this and it's spread over a week and you're like, the expectation for me spending wise feels greater for some reason. You know what I mean? I can't nail that down. But there were some wild encounters. Don't worry. You don't have to pay for these. Although I kind of wish I could pay to have different ones. The wild encounters are Turtwig, Chimchar, Piplup, and if you're lucky, trainers, Grotle, Monferno, and Prinplup. I really hope it's more than just those 6. I'll be so upset if for a week, if it's a week of just the starters.
If I open my app on Monday night and my home spawns are 7 Sinnoh starters, I will close the app for the rest of the week.
Uninstall it for a week
until I come down and play for Sinnoh Tour. No, yeah, I'm so mad. I'm so mad.
Fair. I forgot. Oh yeah, we have both agreed to plans, the same plans for Sinnoh Tour Global. Oh, that's going to be fun. All right, cool. In raids, the following Pokemon will appear in raids. The Pokemon appearing in 5-star raids each day will also be featured in a raid hour from 6 to 7 p.m. local time that day. In 1-star raids, you'll see Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup in case for some reason you are against catching them in the wild. 3-star raids will feature, you guessed it, Grotle, Monferno, and Prinplup. And then 5-star raids, there's a different one every single day of this event. On the 19th, it's Darkrai. On the 20th, it's Cresselia. On the 21st, it's the Lake Spirit Suite. So in APAC, you've got Uxie. The EMEA's got Mesprit, and the Americas and Greenland have Azelf. It's the usual split. They're not rotating or anything. So your expectations should be exactly where they already were. February 22nd is going to be Heatran, and the 23rd will be Giratina Origin Form, aka Giratina-O. In 2-kilometer eggs for this event, you can hatch Badoo, Chingling, Bonsly, Happiny, Munchlax, Riolu, and Mantike. All of those are shiny eligible, in case there was any question there. Event bonuses, these are free, so you get these regardless. Half egg hatch distance when eggs are placed into an incubator during the event period, which is interesting, but also explains why that is not a bonus in the hatch ticket. So you can consider that a compounding bonus if you're trying to take this all into account, right? Additionally, the remote raid pass limit, and this is the part that stands out to me the most, by the way. It's not the paid tickets, it's this. The remote raid pass limit will be increased to 10 from Monday, February 19th to Thursday, February 22nd. And then there will be no limit on remote raids from Friday, February 23rd to Sunday, February 25th. We'll make a big circle back on that one. Promise you that. Timed research will be available throughout the event. You can complete the research tasks to earn encounters of the following event-themed Pokemon: Heatran, Giratina-O, Cresselia, and Darkrai. This, to me, is a big benefit about this event. This is actually sick. It kind of depends on how doable and what those tasks are. But if they're reasonable, getting 4 legendary encounters. Actually, is Darkrai mythical or legendary? I don't remember.
Darkrai is mythical.
Yeah. Anyway, these 4 encounters, high value for seemingly free. So that could be great. Again, depending on what the tasks are. There will be field research tasks as usual. And they're saying that you'll get items to help prepare you for Sinnoh Tour Global from these events. So balls, stardust, potions, something like that. I don't know. And then here's the other diamond in the rough here. There are some ups about this event for sure. New avatar items and stickers. And you probably think I'm crazy, but you just haven't seen what these look like yet. There's Giratina helmet, Giratina wings, and Giratina jacket. Kyle, don't they look sick?
So we're going to continue, but this will be the first time that I change my outfit in like 4 years.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't know what the rest of the outfit's going to be to make it not look stupid, but I love it. They're so good. Wings, customization. That's good. More of that. God.
Yeah.
Oh,
these wings are sick. I was rocking those Ho-Oh wings for a long time.
It's really hard to match those with like anything else.
Yeah.
At least the Giratina wings are like just like black and spiky, so they can probably fit with like leather jackets and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah.
There's also a Diamond Clan outfit, Diamond Clan boots, and the same for the Pearl Clan outfit and boots, and then a Team Galactic outfit. So they're really kind of going all out on avatar items, which is sick. That's not a bad thing, honestly. The following new avatar item will be available for free in the in-game shop during this event and will continue to be available after the event ends. A Go Tour 2024 t-shirt. And then stickers will be available via regular methods from February 19th through the 25th. Okay, so what do we want to talk about first, Kyle? I'm going to throw it to you. Please feel free to pick a topic. We got a few here.
Okay, I'm going to need a soapbox at some point, so we'll wait for that one.
Okay.
I want to talk about the positive.
You do?
Because it's going to be the shortest part.
Oh, okay.
Timed research for legendary encounters. 1 mystical, whatever. Awesome. Fantastic. Cresselia under 1,500 is not easy for most people to get.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity for that to happen. So that's great. I think Giratina can get under 1,500 if you get a lucky low roll in a trade. One of the other ones also is a lucky low roll that's not as
Heatran?
But huh?
I think it's Heatran.
I don't remember. I was reading about it, but it's just escaped my mind. Either way, that's cool. Like that a lot. And like that's the only positive I have for the event. Is there anything else you have to say?
Well, the Giratina set.
Oh, yeah, the outfits are fantastic. They're so good.
I mean, and I do like the return to babies in egg pool, and I'm happy it wasn't 7Ks. I like 2K eggs, and it'll be half hatch distance for the event, so they're in 1K eggs in regular incubators. It's not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's fitting for the generation for sure.
But then there's the rest.
Yeah. Okay. So there's several things. Why don't you pick one? Because I have a soapbox for 3 of them.
Okay, I've got low-hanging fruit here. The wild encounters, if it's just the starters, are unacceptable. I have a feeling we'll see some more in there. I'm sure we'll see some seasonal spawns bleeding through, and hopefully that's toned down a bit. The seasonal spawns are toned up a bit, so that we see a more even split, and it's just saturated with starters instead of exclusively starters. Because I that's just not fun.
I hate starters. I know people love starters. I hate catching starters in this game. It's not fun.
Oh, just because their catch rates are so high.
It's bad, and they never adjust them unless it's like an actual event, like it's a GoFest, a community day, something like that. These are going to be standard base catch rate starters because that's what they do for like rotational spawning.
Yeah,
it's awful. It's terrible.
I would agree.
Even if it was enhanced, it's a bad pool. This is like a day event. If I had 1 day of only 3 starters and the 3 evolution spawning, I could decide if I want to play or not. That's fine. Not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's 5 days.
I'm pretty convinced they're going to be other spawns.
Okay, well, fine. You want some Starlies in there? Like that? Is that really going to make it feel any better?
Yeah, man. Just a little bit.
I mean, look, it's bad, but it's a lot worse reading it on paper than I think it is in it will be in actuality, but still it's hard to like. We're already going to have Sinnoh all weekend with all of the spawns rotating. Why do I need 5 more days?
Yeah.
Why do I need 5 more days?
Yeah, that's fair. This is a long event for some of these things, for sure. But now it's your turn. Popcorn Kyle.
All right. I want to talk about the raids.
Ooh, okay.
I'm upset. I'm like really upset because this is all we get. We get 24 hours of 2 fairly sought after Pokemon, 1 set of regionals, and then 1 that's fairly PvP relevant. And 1 that's actually like really good since it's got its move. Heatran with Magma Storm is really good.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's it. They're not happening over the weekend because we have Origin Form Dialga and Palkia on the weekend. So this is how they're giving us our Sinnoh Tour legendaries. I get that this generation has a lot of legendaries, but look, okay. I'm speaking minorly from being salty because I'm not going to be able to raid Giratina, like very much at all, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably 5 or 6 raids or whatever, but that's not what I want to do. But it's like, where's the accessibility here? This is not what you want to see from the Sinnoh Tour.
Yeah, but Kyle, you can raid more on that day, on those days. What are they ones again? What are they? Increase to 10 during the week. So you can do twice as many raids each day during that week.
Yes, but I'm not going to. But that's the point though, is like, do we want to wrap bring the remote raids into this conversation now? Cause like,
I mean, that's my big topic of conversation here.
I'm just very frustrated because these are Pokemon that I would like to raid with friends during Sinnoh Tour. I don't know why there couldn't have been other options with rotating habitats, rotating gyms. Pick your path. I don't like anything. And it's I don't like it.
I mean, I like the fact that they're making them available. I just don't like that over the weekend there aren't going to be like rotating hours of like legendaries where it's like, hey, Palkia and Dialga will be in raids all the time, but you also might see from this hour to this hour Heatran, this hour and this hour Darkrai.
And like we wouldn't like that because it would be chance of finding them and whatnot, but it would still be an option. It's still better.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
And like this is, we talked about it 2 months ago when we found out, like the start of December, I think is when we found out about Sinnoh Tour. I was like, where's Giratina? This is Giratina. 24 hours of regular raids of Giratina where you want me to spend very large amounts of remote raid passes because that's the only way to reasonably do it.
Also, it's Giratina O. Giratina is not mentioned whatsoever.
No, it's not. And that's unfortunate. Giratina is better for PvE. So
yeah, but Giratina is better in PvP.
Yes, it is. But you don't need well, at least in Ultra League, you don't need a crazy amount of candy or anything to max it out.
Yeah,
it's very obtainable.
True. Well, they both use Giratina candy, right? So it doesn't really matter.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's. Do we want to talk about raids or you want to talk about tickets?
Let's talk about the raids real quick because I think it's a short conversation to have there.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. So the remote raid pass limit is being doubled during the week. And then more notably, it is being, the limit is being done away with for the entire weekend. And this sentiment has resonated with the community in ways that you might find predictable. People that were really affected by the remote raid pass price increase and introduction of a limit were up in arms about like, oh, okay, so when you want to cash in on an event, this is no problem. But when we want to play the way that we want to play because you allowed us to play that way for so long and made communities around it, all of a sudden that's wrong and we should adjust accordingly, right?
Yeah.
And one thing I really want to say is that I see a lot of horrible takes
I haven't
Horrible
seen any,
takes.
so I'm glad. I haven't seen any takes though.
Terrible takes on social media where people that are like, hey, this kind of sucks from a like optics perspective of like, you say that raids need to be limited in order to encourage people to play together in person. And then on an event where people will be out and about doing stuff, those remote limits are removed and we should just be like, oh, thank you so much, Niantic, for it. Like, I understand that could be seen as a bit dramatic, but what I don't appreciate is seeing like responses to it that are like, oh, Niantic, people say we want remote raid limits removed. Niantic says sure, and then people say, oh, Niantic is so greedy. This vilifies and strawmans the actual argument at hand, which is that the remote raid pass limit and the price increase. First of all, the price increase with this remote limit removal makes that whole. It's not going back to the way it was for a weekend. It's still twice as expensive to do it.
It's
right?
Insane.
It is. It's really expensive to do it. And that might be a limiting factor. Maybe that was part of their equation for sure. But again, optics wise, not so hot. What the big problem is, and people have with it, isn't that they're getting quote unquote what they want for a weekend and then they just want to complain about it. It's because it was such a big problem. We had to make this change. Our game isn't going to survive. We have to let these online communities that flourished around a remote raiding culture to die or suffer because of this in order to save the game in the long term. If that's true, then commit to that all the way through, or come up with better reasons or more reasons than just the one that we seem that we can just sort of like shake off when it appeals to us during an event. The inability to commit to it and the discipline to the new ideology of it that you're trying to convince players that they need to have makes me angry. And I don't get mad about this game, but I hate seeing people strawman an argument and people being vilified because they have passion and feelings about a game. Is it true that playing in person is rewarding and you have fun for that? Yes. Does that make it so that if you don't play in person, that's not rewarding and not fun and not memorable? No. Both of those things are true, and both of those things did exist and could have continued to exist the same way that they did. But the online communities, as a result around that, have been kneecapped in a lot of ways. I have to say these things here because I refuse to get into arguments on social media. So anyway, Kyle, I'm sorry. I spoke for too long. What are your thoughts on this?
I agree with you completely in what you're presenting is the actual issue there. And I think the thing that stands out the most to me is this benefits the benefits in quotes the community so much less when you do it around an event. So look, I did 100 Rayquaza raids over GoFest weekend because there was no remote limit, and I took every single request that I possibly could. And I also did as many in person as I could. So like that's like I was working. But the goal is everyone to be out and playing. That's what Niantic wants. That's what the expectation is. So why would you unlimit remote raid passes? It would make more sense to be unlimited the rest of the time, and when you had an event, to limit them to make people go out and play. And nobody would like that. That would be even like 100 times worse. But using the same logic that we've had going from the past, that's what they've described as wanting to happen. With no remote raid limits, somebody can sit at home, not play Sinnoh Tour, and do 100 Dialga raids.
Which was apparently wrong with their argument about game economy.
Why is that okay when it's tied to an event?
And there are new raids coming out. The
brand new raids
too, right? Like
with the special moves and everything that we're talking about.
Yeah. It's not like it's Charizard and who cares how many Charizards you do? I would agree. Do as many Charizards as you want. Limiting that seems not ideal to me, especially if your argument is game economy, like you're saying.
Yeah. It makes no, like, so strictly on paper, removing limits is a positive. There is no actual negative done to the community here by doing this, except the message that surrounds it. Just want to make that clear. I'm not upset that they're removing the limit and, oh my God, I can do as many remote raids as I want. How could they? That's not what I'm upset. That's not
Right.
what I'd be upset about.
Right.
I'm upset about the message about why they couldn't do it otherwise.
Right. And then to do this after saying, oh, well, we have better reasons than you understand for increasing these limits. Just willy-nilly being like, oh, here's an event with new stuff.
We just want you to spend more money.
Yeah, spend your money.
Really it.
And I feel like I would even feel this way if they returned the rate, if they made the raid passes 50% discount, remote raid passes a 50% discount for that weekend. I would still be upset about the messaging portion like that we've been discussing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then you're actually doubling down on messing up your message because you remove the limit and you reduce your cost again, which is just clearly, I want you to spend money.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've talked about monetary limits in the past and stuff like that. We've talked about accessibility and things like that. This only serves whales. And that was apparently a problem. So why is it not now?
Let me tell you, I don't feel good buying remote raid passes anymore.
No,
don't feel good.
Yeah.
I will not be like throwing out remote raid passes like crazy over that weekend. I'll do them mostly because I enjoy it and I'll be having fun talking with people while I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But it won't be like Rayquaza.
Well, with our plans, we'll have plenty of opportunity to do just in-person ones over and over and over again.
Yeah, but like if it's like an hour, I'm not like I don't care about these Pokemon. I'll do a raid while we're driving somewhere else or something like that.
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying that I won't participate either. I mean, we both make a point of doing as many of the events as we can, whether we think they're good or bad, so we could talk about them intelligently and stuff like that. But we also have a platform and that comes with a little bit of responsibility in order to cover all of the different sorts of messages and feelings that are valid in this space. I just don't like seeing people getting stepped on, man, socially. That just... Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about what is the other thing to talk about here. It is the tickets. Oh my gosh, we haven't even talked about the tickets, Kyle.
What's the last part to talk about? We saved the best for last.
True.
All right.
So
well,
two
you went first
$5
for
tickets.
the raids.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
So my rate, I'm going to talk about the raids in a roundabout, or the tickets in a roundabout way. What is this event? What is the road to Sinnoh? It is starter encounters. It is 1 day of each raid. It is an egg pool. And it is half hatch distance.
Yes.
Everything except half hatch distance is normal Pokemon Go. None of this is different. None of this is actually like exciting or enticing. It's what you have all the time when you play the game. That makes these tickets the standout only difference in the event to me.
The only other one is that there is a raid hour every day.
Okay, that's fair. That you know what? That's fair. That's a standout comment on that then.
I mean, but I think it also, like, just to pay respect to what you were saying before, it's still only a day per legendary.
Yeah. So. And there's the one free time research where you get the 4 legendaries. That's cool.
True. That's very cool.
But the event is so sparse otherwise that the tickets stand out as the event in my eyes.
They're also the first thing on the blog post.
They're the first thing on the blog post.
I couldn't believe it.
I had to read the event twice to make sure that like you actually got something for free because the way this read, it didn't make sense to me. It sounded like it was a paid for event only.
Mm-hmm.
That said, the value is just truly horrendous. It's awful. I think it's the worst value they've given for tickets of enhancing your experience.
I think the raid one, if you intend on getting the 2 passes each day and raiding and stuff, is worth it monetarily. But this breaks my
objectively, yes, compared to buying raid passes by itself, it is worth it.
But it breaks my heart to admit that the hatch one is not.
The hatch one is just it's bad. It's bad.
Not all right.
Yeah, that's my take. And the giving the candy is it's almost laughable. It's almost laughable.
Almost. One thing I did forget to get to mention with the hatch thing is that, and then these will be available on global. So this is not as big of a big thing as it is, but there are encounters in the research itself for Pachirisu, Chatos, and Carnivine.
Yeah,
okay. You'll get them. You'll get them during the event, but I do want to make sure that we mention those so people can judge accordingly. There's also an Eevee fan mask. Did I mention that? Oh yeah,
the Eevee fan mask and
the raids, and then Hatch has the Pikachu one. Yep. Yeah. So, I think the bigger thing here, besides just like judging if they have value or not, is that it's 2 $5 tickets again. We've had like some upwards of 8 or 9 paid tickets just this month.
Yep. And I think each of these will have its own timed research as well.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't actually. Yeah, they both have timed research.
Yeah. Did you hear about the thing with the Go Battle Week research too?
No, I did not.
Okay, so originally there was paid timed research for the Go Battle Week event.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then some people in the first few time zones found that they were just getting it whether or not they had a ticket. And then Niantic put out a tweet that was, or a post or whatever, that was like, hey, just so you know, the paid tickets no longer be available and everybody's just going to get that research for free. Okay. Now, people were kind of upset about it because some people bought the ticket or whatever, yada, yada. I'm sure they're taken care of. Gosh, I hope so.
Oh, no.
But other people were just like, oh, Niantic gives you something for free and you're upset. And again, straw man arguments that miss the whole point. And it's like, it's because they messed up. They fully intended to charge us for that research.
They would not have, dialed back and changed their stance if people had not expressed how upset they were.
Right. So, I don't count that as a win. I count that as kind of neutral. Like, okay, cool. That's a good happenstance. It's like when you're
neutral outcome.
It's like when your college professor doesn't show up for your 8 a.m. and you're like, oh, I can go back to bed before my class at noon. This is nice. Like that wasn't intentional. It just happened to be beneficial to you. So yeah. Anyway, I feel like we're being pretty negative, and it's hard.
That's like positive for the players, but it's a neutral interaction with Niantic. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. That. Oh, jeez. Okay. I mean, good that it was free, I suppose.
Yeah. Did you finish it?
No, of course not.
You had to do 10 GBL matches. Use 10 super.
Not going to happen. That said, I didn't talk about my week at all, and it's one of my goals. But I caught a rank 5 Annihilate for Great League.
Ooh.
And apparently Annihilate is like completely replaced Medicham and a lot of stuff.
Finally, yes.
And I don't know how much that matters for rankings or versus how new it is. But I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'll level that up and use it because I love Annihilate.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm just happy to see. Well, first of all, Annihilate is sick, but yeah, I'm happy to see for PvPers' sake that Medicham is getting an option.
Yeah, he's ranked 16 in Great League. XL Medicham is ranked 21.
That is sick. That's really cool.
Right, so
well, there's a good
my Annihilate.
That's a good positive message there. But yeah, so this event looks kind of interesting, but maybe not for the right reasons. The 2 tickets are fine if you don't mind paying for them, but it continues a seemingly negative precedent on just tickets for everything. And yeah, now you're in the know. Oh, make sure you get your Giratina avatar items because they're sick
if you want to buy them. So.
Yep. And don't forget that the legendary plus the 1 mythical encounters for the timed research is timed. So don't sleep on it if you are interested in those for free.
I wonder if that timed research will end Friday or Monday.
Yeah.
Or Sunday, I should say.
I would probably say it ends when this road to Sinnoh ends.
You think?
I do.
Okay, fair enough. The tickets are available until the end of the weekend, but they affect you're playing on the weekend. So
yeah. So there's that. I think the first time in a long time where we have probably finished the news segment like 70% critical and 30% positive.
I wish there was more positive about it. I really do.
I mean, and there are points for sure that are great. I just,
Yeah.
I feel like I had to point it out. So if you're at home listening, like, oh, these guys never think critically about this or criticize it. Here's your example. Here you go.
Yeah.
We hit our quota. But that's it for the news segment, which means, Mr. Kyle, if you wouldn't mind continuing to talk, it's Gear Up.
So this week on Gear Up, we're going to talk about what's the big deal with Dialga and Palkia. We're going to continue that Sinnoh discussion. First up's Dialga, Steel Dragon type. First off, it's a solid Dragon type. It is very competitive, and that's saying a lot because Dragon type is a very competitive field. There's a lot of very good dragons out there. But Dialga has something that makes it stand out from its competition, and that's the Steel type. Because Steel type resists Dragon. So that makes Dialga, I believe, the only dragon that is not weak to Dragon.
Yes.
So it's very good. Like the resistance itself makes it worth bringing depending on the raid boss. That by itself gives it the edge. Although, everyone's going to say DPS is king. That doesn't matter for like 99% of players. I'm not going to bore you with the specific numbers because there's so many dragons to go over. It's not worth it. But it's a top 10 dragon type, not counting megas and shadows. So it's very good. The steel typing makes it very interesting and fun to bring. It's also the second best steel type in the game behind Meteor Mash Metagross. So
nice.
Again, very good,
nice.
Very usable.
Yeah, and Mega Aggron, am I right?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not even. I mean, probably actually just because.
No, there's no way.
Yeah, I think Mega Aggron probably is higher. I actually closed the page with the DPS calculations before we got to Gear Up, so I can't check. But
okay.
Anyways, we're gonna move on to Palkia. This is gonna be even shorter. On paper, Palkia is better than Dialga. It just has more DPS, slightly more attack. Top 5 dragon types overall, but Dialga's typing really helps even the playing field when you're going to use both of them because they both have the exact same use case, obviously. And if the dragon you're attacking has a dragon charge move, Dialga's gonna probably do better work than Palkia is. So it's something worth considering. And lastly, Palkia has no water fast move still, so no water type usage for Palkia. A couple of notes. Origin forms will not be better, at least for raiding and PvE. They have very slightly more bulk for slightly less attack, like single digits roughly. So very similar on paper. And we know nothing actually about their signature moves, but they will both be dragon type, so they will probably both just get better as a dragon type. And I don't think Palkia will compete with Rayquaza with its new move, but the new move could be busted. So there you go.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, well, once we find out the new moves, it'll be exciting. Probably more for Dialga than Palkia because Palkia is already like solid, and Dialga has that steel typing that really makes it stand out. So
even if Palkia had a water fast type move, the water DPS chart is so competitive. I think it would still be better off with a dragon typing set, right?
Maybe that it's so easy to have like a Kyogre or a Swampert with Hydro Cannon to be competitive. I think if Palkia had good water moves, it would be competitive. But I don't think it can even learn good water moves, which is probably why it doesn't have them. Like it probably can't even learn Water Gun, for example.
Whoops, bummer. Okay, well there we go. Cool. Dialga and Palkia. More Sinnoh prep. Okay, cool. And that means that we're going to take a quick little break here. And when we come back, we're going to be in the Pokélore segment. See you there. All right, welcome back. This week, we're going to be talking about the newly announced Pokemon that's being added to the 12-kilometer egg pool this weekend for the Team Rocket event.
Yay.
Varoom, the single-sill Pokemon, and Revavroom, the multi-sill Pokemon. Starting off with Varoom. Varoom is an inorganic metallic Pokemon said to be created when an unknown poison-type Pokemon enters and possesses an unused engine at a scrap processing factory. So that's really complicated. That first sentence in general implies that it's some sort of poison ghost Pokemon possessing something.
Right? What?
Very strange. Maybe we'll learn more.
Is that you?
Maybe we'll learn more. Who knows? Its front has a protrusion tipped with a shape somewhat resembling a skull. This shape contains a hole that resembles a frowning mouth. Its 2 yellow eyes are located on the sides of its body, and on its top is a tall block extending towards the back with 4 black stripes decorating it. Its rear has a long exhaust pipe tipped with a purple stain. Varoom attaches itself to rocks that resemble wheels. These rocks constitute Varoom's diet, as it feeds on minerals from the rocks and converts them into energy. Rather than moving on the ground, Varoom is able to levitate and fly around. Varoom is used by Team Star as the real wheels of these Star Mobiles. Hasta la V-Star. Next up is Revavroom. Revavroom is an inorganic Pokemon resembling a car engine. Its metallic body has an atypical arrangement with a singular yellow eye at the front and center. The front of Revavroom's body also has a few spikes to the left and right, along with a small hole resembling a frown located just below its eye. Although this hole does not function as its mouth, on Revavroom's sides are 8 cylinders, each one tipped with a purple stain. The 2 longest cylinders reach out towards the back and flare out at the ends. These cylinders function as the Pokemon's exhaust. The remaining 6 cylinders sit on top of the 2 long cylinders with 3 on each one. Revavroom's large cylindrical mouth is located on top of its body and resembles air filters found on muscle car engines. This mouth has jagged serrations resembling teeth and contains a long tongue, which Revavroom uses to unleash toxic fluids, like some people on Twitter. The top and bottom halves of the mouth do not connect with each other. Revavroom typically attaches itself to rocks that resemble the wheels and the body of a wagon, which it uses as a means of locomotion. It can create gas by combining the minerals in the rocks with its poison. The gas is then detonated in its cylinders to generate energy for itself. This aggressive Pokemon uses the sound of its exhaust to threaten foes. Revavroom typically levitates and flies around in the air instead of moving on the ground. Revavroom are capable of running machines when attached to them. This is evidenced by the Starmobiles, which are vehicles Ortega created for Revavroom to run as an engine alongside Varoom. The Revavroom running the Starmobiles are larger than others of their species. Those things are so cool. Here's some stats. Max CP at 40 is 2951. At 50, you're looking at 3337, 2000 over elite. 190 stamina, 168 defense, at 229 attack. Pretty heavy on the attack there, which is nice. Best moveset as far as we know so far, right? Poison Jab with Gunk Shot and Gyro Ball. These moves might change, who knows, but working knowledge in the community is that this is probably the best way to go. It is a poison steel type, so do with that what you will. Kyle, any love for Varoom or Revavroom?
I like Varoom. I don't care as much for Revavroom.
Why? Because it's hard to say.
Well, first, yes. I don't know. It's an engine, but it's also a car, and it's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know. I kind of wish it went more for the evolution. Like, I wish it went. Like, the Starmobile is a neat idea, and the fact that Revavroom is only, like, the centerpiece of it is kind of the sticking point for me. Varoom is fun, though. I think it's a fun idea.
Yeah, plus they're funny. Flying around super fast.
Yep.
Great. Cool. Well, there's that. That's Pokélore. Hope you learned something and hope you are lucky with your 12-kilometer egg hatches if you are participating in the chase as I am.
God, no.
Speaking of participation, it's time for PokéPoll.
Last week's question was, if you could add one customization to your in-game trainer avatar, what would it be and why? First response from Pepper is found, and they said, different haircuts. I thought I heard rumors that was a work in progress with a diverse range of hair models, but that was months ago. Would not be surprised if that was too hard for Niantic and they had to drop it. I feel bad for the people using the male model. How is that Dragon Ball Super Saiyan cut treating y'all? It's the only option, basically.
Adult Gohan from the Boo Saga. Yep,
Yeah.
That's right.
Next one's from Maxitron. They said, I would add a beard to mine because I have a beard and it's not snowy white.
Amen.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Very, very commonly shared, I feel, opinion there.
Oh, yeah.
Next was from Trip Tandem. They said, I think body types would be too difficult, really, unfortunately. Thinking about how many clothing options plus moving poses we got, it would be a massive impossibility for Niantic to get that done right. The obvious and easy and correct answer is more character customization options indeed. So yeah, hairstyles and facial hair come to mind. But how about adding things like makeup, lipstick, earrings, piercings, etc. as well? People could feel more like themselves with those options enabled. And clothing-wise, I'd like to see more Pokemon-specific clothing. More trainers deserve the option to be able to dress up as their favorite Pokemon. At this point, I might be waiting forever for a Mudkip or Teddiursa onesie. Reminds me of a question I'd like to ask back. Chris, what Pokemon onesie would you like most? Sorry, Kyle. Don't have the same question for you since there's so much Gengar clothing already. Trip and I have already had back and forth about this. I still can't believe there is not a Mudkip something. Like,
yeah,
more Mudkip somethings.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Mudkip's too popular for so that.
Popular.
Strange. Probably. I'd really love like a Typhlosion, like well, I guess a onesie would be cool, but I would settle for like a Typhlosion like head accessory where it just adds like a mane of flame around your character's neck. That'd be so cool.
Only when your character is screaming, though.
Yeah. Or I guess it could be a back, and it could be like on your shoulders, like a leather jacket flare. You know?
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
All right. Next response from Sarah Laura, and they said, my thinking in this is not so much the customization that is important, but making it more relevant to the play experience in some way. Helping / making users more likely to click and interact with other players / characters. Like having a way to vote on who is the style savant in the raid waiting lobby. Helping to increase inter-character interactions. Or maybe something in the party play feature that allows you to try out new costumes. Especially with being able to see other avatars because of the party play feature. That's a fair idea.
Yeah. Way to tie that in. Didn't even think about that.
Next response from Modders, and he said, hello, gents and DeFi 250. As I may have mentioned a few times before, I'd love a beard, belly, and beer in hand, but not sure that would fly. I'd settle for an import / upload image option on a plain black or white t-shirt. That way we can have a modicum of customization. Uploading our favorite sports teams, brands, podcasts, etc. Before you say it, copyright. Meh.
That's not what I was going to say.
Me neither. We'll stick it to that. Quick update on the Dad versus Modders XP challenge. I'm up 8.2 million experience. We're a couple of days into week 3, but the gains are decent so far. To beat the year, I need to be hitting 2.8 million per week. Or 3.1 million per week to beat Dad.
Oh my gosh.
Loving your work as ever. Cheers.
Woo!
I can't even imagine.
It's
when we were in New York and I played hard, I think I got like 6 or 7 million experience over the course of the week from like Tuesday to Sunday. I can't imagine doing half of that on a regular basis. I would be so burnt out.
By the end of the year too, right?
By the end of the year, they're going for 500 million.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, no, you're right. I couldn't keep that up for that long. Maybe for like a month, I could do a challenge or something, but
crazy.
Still.
It's 150 million in a month.
Respect.
120 million in a month.
Respect.
Sorry. All right. Last response from Rotten Tanuki, and they said a few different preset faces to replace the current mannequin face. God, yeah, that's totally fair.
Yep, those eyes, like those eyes.
When Pal World has more character customization than Pokemon does.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Yeah, but that's kind of where arguably that's where the creativity ends, right?
You're right. You're right, but that's okay. I mean, it's not even creative there. It's just more options.
Oh yeah, it's
They
just
still stole it from everywhere else, but who cares?
it's just color palettes on models at that point in time. Which I mean, honestly, like we just
That's all it
diminished that,
takes.
but then why is it so hard over here, right?
It's
Like
all it takes. It's all it takes. It's a color palette and a color wheel on a model that changes.
The point proves itself even when we're trying to champion it. Like
all right. So for this week's PokéPoll, we have with adventure effects like Spatial Rend and Roar of Time being added with Sinnoh Tour, what other adventure effects would you like to see in the future, and how would they work?
I imagine we could get a slew of answers for this.
I feel like people are going to be a lot more creative than I'm going to be because I'm still trying to think of an answer right now. So you can answer, but I'm expecting our audience to have some more creative answers here.
Do you offhand know what Hoopa's signature move is?
I don't know the name of it.
I'm going to look it up really quick.
I know the idea behind the Pokemon, but I don't know the name.
Yeah.
I really hope it's like hoops of something.
It's Hyperspace Fury.
Oh my god.
Or in Japanese, it's Interdimensional Rush, apparently. It's a damage-dealing dark type move introduced on Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. And it is the signature move of Hoopa Unbound. Anyway, so Hyperspace Fury and / or Interdimensional Rush. That's where I'd like to see an adventure effect because we all have these Hoopas and nobody is using them for anything. So it'd be sweet to get more mileage out of that mythical. And the idea behind Hoopa is teleporting and stuff like that. So I think it'd be kind of cool on a cooldown to select a point that you can see on your map, like visibly, right? So you would tap on that, and then once every like hour you can do this. You can tap on that, and it'll put your character there for like 5 minutes or until you cancel it or whatever. And then it'll take you back. You can't move your character. There's no joystick. There's none of that stuff that even remotely resembles anything you're not supposed to be doing. It's just putting you in one spot until you end it, or up to 5 minutes. And this would help with things that are in spots that are dangerous to get to, or are across a body of water that you can't cross in time for a raid. Mm-hmm. Or there's a nest across the street from your work and you can't leave the building because it's too cold outside or something like that. Like, you see what I'm talking about? Applications here.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea. I like that idea.
Okay.
So this is hard to suggest because it's never actually like confirmed. I'd love to see adventure effects that change the biome you're in.
Whoa.
I want to see Origin Pulse make wherever you're playing water, make it a beach or make it an ocean, whatever they have it tagged as. And that could be a way to make some other stuff interesting. I can't think of other moves that make like logical sense for it. It'd be weird for Precipice Blades to make a place a desert, but that's what would be that'd be pretty cool.
It'd be cool if Groudon and Kyogre got one that made it so that it was sunny for you or raining for you.
Yeah, just actually change the in-game weather.
Just for you for like, a period of time. You can extend it just like the other ones, right?
That's got value because you could do that, and then you can do a raid you want and get something that's weather boosted.
Yeah,
like, there's value to something like that.
Yep.
Niantic, listen to us.
Or it's a community day and your weather is wrong. I
really want that Pokemon.
Sunny. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, dear listener, if you have an answer to this week's question, which is with adventure effects like Spatial Rend and Roar of Time being added with Sinnoh Tour, what other adventure effects would you like to see in the future and how would they work? You can answer that question when we post it on X. If you're a patron of ours, in our patron Discord, we have a channel for it. If you're watching on YouTube, you can leave a comment. If you're listening to us on the Spotify mobile app, you can actually interact with us directly by answering the question there in like a little tab, I believe. And you can also leave us a voicemail by calling into 262-586-7717 or the old-fashioned way by sending us an email to mail@gocastpodcast.com. And we may, of course, read your response on the show. Speaking of emails and a few voicemails this week, Mr. Kyle, using your personal adventure effect, where are we right now?
It's time for emails.
And like I said, a couple of voicemails. How much Kyle candy and Stardust does it take for me to extend the email segment, and how many minutes at a time do you think?
Hang on, are we extending the email segment, or are we extending me saying the word emails?
Ooh, that's the value I want. I'm gonna spend like 500,000 Stardust and 500 Kyle candy to get you just hold it for 30 minutes. That'd be great.
I feel like it's like 25 candy and 15,000 dust for like.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'd have to think about the amount, but that'd be that like 6 seconds or something like that.
Start up your own business. So just doing that for Stardust.
Player trading for Stardust.
Yeah.
I don't know how you balance that. It would be awful. Don't do that.
You don't.
It would never happen.
Well, we've got a few voicemails here to start with. This first one is from Hero Ice.
Hey, Chris and Kyle, how you doing? It's Hero Ice 18 back after a very long time because I have been working from home, so I haven't been in the car as much, which means I haven't been up on my podcast as much, but now I am one of the few that have transitioned from Google Podcasts to Spotify, so now you may get my review finally. But I wanted to call and answer both the question of the week. So my thoughts on having levels 50 plus is I feel like it would be really cool if there was
Just from last week.
some sort of track system, kind of like what they do for special or timed research, where for, let's say, level 51, you could choose between having 2 times Stardust, 2 times egg distance, or some other thing, and that would be what you would get for that whole level. And then when you go to the next level, you lose that option you picked, and you get to pick another one. So if I picked the Stardust for the 51, for 52, I wouldn't have that option again. I would have to pick eggs. I feel like that would be a neat way to kind of make each level feel just a little bit more special and a bit more personalized too. I could see a lot of people saying, oh, for this level I picked this, or this is my experience with that. And I feel like that would be a fun thing. So, I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. I hope you guys have a good week and shiny vibes all.
I mean, that's a great idea too. And it talks about our big talking point that we had before, which is that it gives you some more agency. So if you want to commit to a grind of a certain thing that you actually want to do, you can do that.
Yeah, I agree. Agency is always good. So anything that leans towards that, I think, is a good idea.
Yeah. Short and sweet. Great idea. Love it. This next voicemail is from Blind Zero Ed.
Hello, Chris and Kyle. Blind Zero Ed here down in East Tennessee. Just leaving a message about this latest update. There seems to be at least one bug, I hope it's a bug, about fighting and doing the battles on the grunts and stuff. There's no longer a sound effect for the time to swing your finger around on the screen and collect all that little stuff you get to make your shot more powerful. I don't know what you call it, but at any rate, the sound is no longer there, and I have been stymied by this. I don't know how to beat it, and I hope it's just a flaw that will be updated quickly. And again, could use some sound effects for shinies. And the good part is, with the newest update for iOS, the names and the CPs of all the Pokemon are now available. I don't think that'll last very long. When they update it, it'll probably change again. Seems to do that regular basis. But, I think it's a programming error, a little flaw in the system. And I certainly hope that they do fix it. On another item, I didn't get but 8 or 10 to finish a goal set for the get 50 throws or 60 excellent throws. I got 24 on one game and 42 on another, and that was it.
Whoa.
Couldn't finish it. Anyway, still enjoy the game. Just can't do any of the grunts or anything like that because I can't tell when it's my turn to give the old 1-2 to the screen. but I hope everybody has a good time. Been a bit chilly for walking and wet, too.
Oh,
So have a good one and enjoy the game.
I love the phrasing in this voicemail a lot. I like the idea of giving the old 1-2 to the screen because you kind of are, you know.
it just brings me back to when before we could swipe, we had to tap.
Oh my gosh,
breaking your phone for hitting it so hard.
I'll do figure eights and star patterns all day on my screen over that.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
But the losing of the sound prompts in the grunts, as long as nothing on your phone settings wise has changed, definitely sounds like a bug, and that's a big problem. If you rely on those sounds, you know, and again, like you mentioned, Ed, we need the shiny 1-2. Like, why not? There's no reason not to.
Well, because the Pokemon company has decided to get rid of it. Apparently,
I guess.
It's not in Scarlet and Violet, so they're like, use your eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with using my eyes, but I also like using my ears and my eyes. You know, like I'm an audio based sort of person. You know, I prefer using my ears if I can. You know, so yeah, I hope that gets all sorted rather quickly, honestly, for you and just in general. Kyle and I don't really play with our sound on because there's no benefit for us to have it on sometimes. So it's likely just left off most of the time, except for Halloween. Turn it on for 5 minutes.
Except for Halloween.
Get that hit of dopamine and turn it back off. So, yeah. Well, thank you very much for the voicemail. Appreciate it. And I hope that bug gets sorted out soon. That's a bummer. Our last voicemail is from Aaron.
Hi, Chris and Kyle. My name is Aaron. I just wanted to call in and say thank you for a great podcast. It gets me on my way to work. I live in the DC area and traffic all the time. So a lot of times I will spend the entire commute listening to your podcast. I also wanted to commiserate Kyle because I just got my wisdom teeth removed last week, 2 of 4, and I need to get the bottom ones removed. My boyfriend actually removed my top wisdom teeth. He did a great job, and then I got COVID, and it was awful. So this is unrelated to Pokemon Go. I just wanted to let Kyle know that that was an unpleasant experience for me. I hope his experience is better. But yeah, thank you so much for your podcast. My boyfriend and I are very avid players of Pokemon Go, albeit we're not as dedicated as you two are. But I really enjoy listening to all of your tidbits, and I've learned a lot. And you guys have even actually helped inspire me to set goals for things outside of Pokemon Go too. I love that you set goals each week. I think that's a great practice. But you guys have a great rest of your day, and shiny vibes all.
There was a follow-up to that voicemail that I won't play. I'll summarize for you, where Aaron called back and said, I just left a voicemail. I should clarify, my boyfriend's a dentist.
I definitely was like, hang on. And then I'm like, I'm assuming this kind of... I still feel like there's got to be a conflict of interest here or something. I don't know.
No, yeah, it was like my boyfriend's a dentist. Nobody should get medical treatment like that except from a licensed professional. So I just want to put that out there that Aaron did clear the air there. And Ed, Ed also sent a follow up with their trainer code, and I did send you an invite. I'll make sure I get that code to Kyle as well.
Okay, cool.
But so funny.
Thank you for commiserating about the wisdom teeth. My top 2 got pulled. They weren't so bad. The bottom 2, they're pretty bad. But from what I've heard from other people, I was on like the middling scale of bad. So they did come out in basically one piece. So that's the win there.
Oh, nice. Oh, very, very nice. It can get kind of messy.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember from getting all of my wisdom teeth pulled out at the same time is that I went home and I watched Kung Fu Panda 1 3 times in a row.
Oh my God.
I was really out of it, brother. Really out of it. Oh geez. But thank you all for your lovely voicemails. We love getting the voicemails. It's awesome. But we've got some emails as well. I'm going to throw this over to Mr. Kyle for our first one.
First one's from Andy. He said, hi, everyone. It's Andy from Louisville, Kentucky. trainer name Bradatusk. Great to meet all of you buttfish in New York City GoFest. Wish I could have gotten to know you all better, so sorry for not being in touch more. I listen all the time. I'm very grateful for your work. I have many questions, but the thing that got me off my behind to write is the question, what Pokemon is your dog? I've been wondering this for a while, and I'm so glad that Fox, am I right, wrote in and got the ball rolling. So without further ado, our two dogs, Dingo, kind of beagle guy with something gentler and quieter mixed in, is a cross between Eevee and Lickitung. And number 2, Astro, tree walking coonhound, if you know, you know, and we didn't when we got him, is a cross between Snorlax and Houndoom, and can mega evolve when sufficiently provoked, which doesn't actually take much. Both are rescues, so we don't know why Astro mega evolves, but it seems like he had some bad experiences with a garbage truck. I love to watch them play. It makes me wish I was a caster so I could have you all share in their battles. Though, to be honest, they're all pretty much the same way. A description would maybe get into Pokemon fanfics such as their signature moves, and since you don't want to even mispronounce a Pokemon name, you probably can't read that on the air. But an abridged version is that Dingo builds up energy with Snarl and then spams the heck out of Astro with Body Slam.
Love it.
I love it. I can picture it now. Astro stoically tanks these moves and builds energy with Yawn. He eventually can't take it anymore and wins the battle with Outrage, often repeated several times. I attached a couple pics showing Astro's fast attack and Dingo using Lick on me. Also note how Astro's eyes turn red before he mega evolves. Thank you for all you do, Andy. Oh, I appreciate the description because that makes me happy.
It's lovely. It's lovely. So Kyle, what about your dog?
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I may have to get back and answer this next week because my girlfriend's gonna have a better answer than I will.
Oh, sure.
But she's very skittish, especially about going outside. So she's very scared about that, especially around cars. So, but very energetic for playing with toys.
Yeah, like Vulpix comes to mind, but again, I'm sure you'll have a better answer.
Little bit like Yamper. I think about Yamper playing with like the ball in the Pal Park or whatever it was in Galar that you could do. With
yeah, you can throw the ball and
definitely like that. But then she's got like an attitude. She's got an attitude when she thinks you're taking her things away.
Sure, very protective. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, we'll look forward to a better answer.
Give you actual Pokemon comparisons. Hopefully next week. Maybe
Sweet.
I'll write a reminder.
Okay. Well, I don't own a dog, but my sister owns a dog. My parents own a dog, so I guess I could talk about one of them. Let's go with my sister's. Let's go with my parents' dog. His name is Riley. He's predominantly pit bull. And he is, I would probably say, Houndour mixed with like, oh geez, it's so funny because pit bulls give off like this. They could be scary energy, like when they're barking and stuff, but like when they're around their people, they're just like gigantic stuffed animals. And they just want to be touched and held and squeezed and stuff. So, oh man, I don't know. Maybe like, what's a good squeezable Pokemon?
Apple?
No, never. No, it's too close to Snubble. I don't want it.
Munchlax.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go with Munchlax. Yeah. Munchlax mixed with Houndour for sure.
Okay.
Big mouth, competitive eater. He's very picky about eating, actually. So Munchlax probably isn't as apt, but hey, whatever. That's fine. Good enough. Thank you very much, Andy. Our next email is from Kevin Red Bull. And they said, hey, Chris and Kyle, Kevin Red Bull here. Hope you guys are doing well. I just best buddied my Shadow Shiny Dratini today, so I'm well. As it turns out, I have something I needed to address from my previous email. I had a shadowed 98% Mewtwo that day, and I really wanted the hundo to use for Mega Evolutions in the future. So I did what the obvious solution seemed to be. I did not purify it. I continued to wait and do Shadow Mewtwo raids until fate had finally blessed me. I was contemplating purifying the 98% I already had when I received a 14-14-14 Shadow Mewtwo as well. I purified that Mewtwo so fast and relished in my glory. That day, I had 2 Shadow Shiny Mewtwo, a 98% Shadow Tank, and a purified Hundo. I'm not as crazy as you guys thought I was. Not sorry for the much-needed explanation. Shiny vibes all. Kevin, Red Bull. I will still stylistically disagree with you for purifying
until you got
that.
6 of them.
Yeah.
I'm be like, but I mean, okay, look, if you already got like 2 Shadow Mewtwo's that are like, okay, like a 15, 13 or something that you invested in, and then you have a 98%. Okay, if you've already sufficiently invested and you're not going to invest again, I can understand the Hundo, the purified Hundo.
You can?
I can in select circumstances. I don't have enough information here. A 98% Shadow is 4 short of enough.
Yeah. If it was a 13, I'd say go for it. But 14 to me is still too close, and 98% is right out. So
yeah, that's one away. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, even if it's a 14, 15, I still would feel uncomfy about that.
Yeah.
But to each their own, I suppose. So Kevin, up to you, man. Thank you for the email. Appreciate it.
Our last response from Chowry, and they said, "Hey y'all, I know it's been a while, so let me go over a bit of stuff that's happened. Tornado's shiny arrow was irritating, and the compensation box was lackluster. Spent $10 and received 5. Still got the shiny though.
Nice.
Only did 12 Hisuian Typhlosion and got 5 shinies. My raid day luck is still crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That's better than mine.
Yeah.
Whew.
Thunderous was much better than its green-winged brother, as I got 3 shinies, one of them being on Porygon Day. Speaking of Porygon, was walking with a few friends when we found a back-to-back Hundo and Nundo. Holy cow.
Nice.
One got both shiny and decided that was all for the day. That it probably has to be the rarest occurrence to happen and go.
A shiny Nundo and a shiny Hundo, my word. I would probably,
back.
That's
even on a community day. It's
go out on a high.
I stuck around and did a ludicrous amount of trades and got twin lucky Hundo Christmas Snantlers. Okay.
No.
Okay. Overall for the trade session, got 9 luckies out of 100 trades. That's pretty good odds. Evolved the new shiny Annihilate. Not going to max or anything, but it's nice to have. Saving all Stardust for Go Tour. Also hyped for Go Tour, as I just hit lucky with my 4th and 7th place remote raiders in my community. I claimed rank 1. And we agreed to swap shiny Palkio and Dialga.
Nice. Good use of the terminology.
Yep. Finally, to close out this lengthy email, I'm struggling along with the level 44 requirement of battling 50 Go Rocket leaders. I have 30 radars stacked up, and I'm waiting for the 27th for the leader Mon reshuffle. Dratini, Bellsprout, and Sableye weren't worth it to me. Mildly sorry for the long email and longer absence. Chowry.
You have such self-control, because even if
self-control is
impressive, even if the Pokemon weren't great, in my opinion, I would just be interested in getting through the task.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What happens when they rotate and their rotation is even worse? Doesn't even have the Dratini to chase.
Could be. But even if they're worse, they would presumably be new. So maybe. There's some value, I guess, there. Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Maybe. Yeah. Oh, geez. Good email. Thank you very much. Appreciate the update. Good to hear from you, Chowry. If you would like to send us an email just like these fine folks did, you can by sending it to mail@gocastpodcast.com. If you'd like to send us in a voicemail, you can call in to 262-586-7717, or you could send us a sound file. That's what Hero Ice did this week. They went ahead and sent me a file in a DM and Discord, and that worked just fine. I will say for those, and this wasn't the case here, so I'm not like making an example or anything. If you send me a file and it's like 7 minutes, I might be like, let's cut this down or something. We like to keep to that 2 or 3 minute time limit that the voicemails when you call in kind of gives. It seems like a reasonable time. Visit our website for all things GoCast at GoCastPodcast.com. Follow us on X at GoCast Podcast. If you'd like to help support the show for as little as $1 a month, that gets you access to our patron Discord. That's via Patreon. And that's spelled patreon.com/GoCast Podcast. And I did this last week. So Kyle, you're up. We have our elite trainer tier patrons. They're great.
Shout out to elite trainers: Bo, Daniel, Lori, Michael, Ozzy, Arkham, Marvin, Mimi, Sports, Thayer, Jason, Justin, Charles, Modders, Lee, William, Brandon, Ethan, Steven, Nick, our favorite listener, Drew 2, Camo, The Ugly Rock, Jacob, Victoria, Sarah Lord.
Thank you very much for helping us keep the digital lights on, amongst other things. And if monetary support's not in the cards for you, or you've done that and you're like, I want to help out our guys even some more, our guys in DeFi even more, you can leave us a review. It just takes you a few minutes and it's free wherever reviews are acceptable and taken. So there's that. Mr. Kyle, we got to set some goals.
Yep.
And then we're out of here for this week. So what are you planning on doing for this Team Go Rocket event this weekend?
I want to evolve my rank 5 Annihilate.
Nice.
So going to do that. Continue my buddy progress. I'm working on so I can get to that Typhlosion. I'm going to get a Shadow Kyogre. Probably 2. I'll decide how bad, if I want to do a third one, depending on how bad the first 2 are, I think. Yeah. Fair. And continue my gifting so we can get to best friends with Sarah Amanda and a couple other people that are getting pretty close on my list as well.
Nice. My list is pretty similar. I also did not evolve an Annihilate yet, so I need to take care of that. I guess it doesn't really matter. I just want the dex entry. Shadow Kyogre, just complete that whole research. 1 new/event shiny. So if it's not an event shiny, then it would have to be new. But if it's an event shiny of something I already have, I'm going to count it. And then continue gifting because I don't want to fall too far behind or miss my opportunity to surpass Kyle in gifting days with Sarah Amanda and other folks. And that's it. That's an episode, Kyle. We did it.
We did.
Wow. And we'll see y'all next week for episode 268. Thanks so much for listening all the way through. You're the best. Shiny vibes, all that good stuff. Kick Giovanni's butt this weekend. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.